Welcome to Falcon Update here on YBTV. I'm Jessica Fannin.
And I'm Libby Zimmerman. Welcome to our second show of the semester.
Lottie is hosting a special Valentine's Day dinner for students this Thursday. The menu will include dishes from roasted red pepper to Gouda bisque. Save the date and some space for a delicious meal.
SAB filled the Union with an unforgettable jukebox night. Students were able to request their favorite musical hits as the OSE desk, filling the space with iconic tunes. Students turned their dreams into reality, enjoying their favorite musical songs with lemonade and cookies. Messiah had a unique opportunity to show off their taste in music.
We're here in the Student Union and we're at Jukebox Night, and students can come up and request songs for their favorite musicals and get cookies and lemonade.
Be sure to stay tuned for more events just like this one following SAB on Instagram at Messiah SAB.
Love is in the air. SAB hosted their annual Valentine's Day brunch. Music and laughter filled the space while friends and couples enjoyed a warm breakfast. A special chocolate fountain was provided to dip marshmallows in. From DIY decorations to heartfelt cards, making there was something for everyone at the brunch. The campus was brought together by this brunch and spreading some love and joy just in time for Valentine's Day. Don't forget to follow SAB on Instagram to stay up to date on all future events.
The Office of Sustainability hosted bingo in Murray Library. Students hung out, ate snacks, and waited to patiently and potentially win prizes. The Office of Sustainability hosted this event in an opportunity to kick off campus's Race to Zero Waste, a competition on college campuses to lower waste consumption. Waste coordinator Daniel Leppert shared more about the competition.
So this library bingo is the first event that we have for Campus Race to Zero Waste. Campus Race to Zero Waste is an 8-week competition. It's a national competition that colleges have the opportunity to participate in. And it's basically teaching college campuses just to be aware of our waste consumption and how to lower that, and just to keep track and see how we compare to other colleges and universities.
To learn more about the campus Race to Zero Waste and about future sustainability events, follow Messiah Sustainability on Instagram at messiah.sustainability.
We'll be right back with more Falcon Update after this break.
I think one of the major distinctives of a Messiah University nursing degree is our Christ preeminent approach to our teaching. We really focus on teaching students that they are the hands and feet of Christ. At Messiah University, we offer a very robust menu of nursing programs. We have our 4-year traditional BSN program in person here on campus, and then we offer a variety of online nursing programs. For example, we have the RN to BSN degree completion, 2 master's tracks, and then we have the dual degree, MSN, MBA degree, as well as 2 Doctor of Nursing practice tracks. And then we also offer postmaster's certificates in nursing administration and nursing education. We have maintained and sustained a very high NCLEX pass rate, the National Council Licensing Exam for registered nurses. As well, we are fully accredited by the Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education. We also prepare our students here at Messiah University by introducing them to a variety of clinical scenarios in our simulation labs. And so students have an opportunity to practice clinical, hands-on care before they encounter that experience in the clinical setting. Many of our nursing faculty are still practicing as a nurse clinician in the specialty in which they teach. And that's true at the graduate level and the undergraduate level. We've been teaching nursing students at Messiah University for more than 3 decades. And over those years, our Messiah graduates have earned a stellar reputation in our community. They are known for their compassionate caring, for their expert clinical skills, and really importantly, for their ethical approach to care. And so our community agencies and our clinical partners really value Messiah graduates.
Welcome back to Falcon Update. I'm Jessica Fannin.
And I'm Libby Zimmerman. Jessica, what did you do this weekend?
I actually had kind of a packed weekend. It was a good time because some of my friends from home came up and we went line dancing together, so that was a really good time. Saturday was very productive. We got some work done, and on Sunday I went snowboarding, so it was an eventful weekend. I had a good time. How about you?
So I actually went to Pittsburgh this weekend. My brother's a senior in high school and he plays volleyball, so we've been traveling with him for a little bit now, and this is our last season going to Pittsburgh, so it was a little bittersweet. But it was really great to just spend time with my family and get to see him play this tournament one last time with some of his friends that he's been playing sports with for a really long time. So that was really cool.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, I think we've been there for the past couple years, and it's been pretty nice weather. Like, we got to walk around and do a lot of stuff, but this year it was really bitter cold.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a lot more than years prior.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us have been feeling that lately, of just like really irregularly cold weather. I didn't know I was signing up for that when I came to PA for school. So this weather is definitely throwing some of us for a loop. And let's see if Ethan Gregory can bring us some clarity for this week's Falcon forecast. Ethan?
Oh, thank you, Jess, and thank you, Libby. And tonight, we're going to take a look at tonight's Falcon forecast. I'm Ethan Gregory. Let's go ahead and take a look. Tonight, we're sitting at a temperature of 28 degrees. It's rather chilly outside. We saw a high of 37 degrees today. So the sun came out a little bit, but that went away as the evening continued on. And we also saw a low of 24. We're sitting at a dew point of 23. We're waiting for that water vapor to turn to rain. Hopefully that doesn't come anytime soon. On to the next tomorrow. It's also going to be very cold for your in-service day, no classes, so that means maybe when the snow comes, you can get outside for a little bit of sledding here around 3 p.m. But starting at 6 a.m., we're going to be at a low of 24 for the day, 9 a.m. cloudy and 27, 12 p.m. 33 and cloudy. We're going to keep going up and then go down again, 3 p.m. 34 degrees with a 65% chance of snow, 6 p.m. 31 degrees, more snow, and 9 p.m. 30 degrees with even more snow. So we're going to see snow all the way from 3 p.m. until probably the next day, that Wednesday, with an 85% chance of snow as well. We'll go ahead and take a look at the surface map now. Here we have a cold front coming from the Pacific Northwest, where it's always cold. Imagine that. It'll slide all the way east and hit the East Coast, and we'll have some rain coming up from down south as well, which will hit around Thursday, Friday, Saturday-ish. Other than that, we'll take a look here at our dew points and how moist the air is. On Monday today, like I said, we already are sitting at 23 degrees. On Tuesday, 27. Wednesday, 25. Thursday, we'll have our highest dew point at 36 because of the 85% chance of rain that'll be coming. And then on Friday, a dew point of 21 degrees as well. Now, going ahead to our 7-day forecast, like I had already mentioned above, tomorrow we're sitting at a high of 34, a low of 24, and there's going to be a 65% chance of snow, so that's kind of inevitable tomorrow for your in-service day, your day off. On Wednesday, we're sitting at a high of 35 degrees and 28 degrees is the low, but also it's going to snow more Wednesday than it will Tuesday with an 85% chance. On Thursday, here comes the rain, an 85% chance of rain at a high of 49 degrees and a low of 28. So it does get warmer as the week continues on. But then Friday, it goes back down, but the sun comes out, so hopefully that snow will melt with a high of 34 and a low of 23. Saturday, 40 and 24, more rain. Sunday, 44 and 24. And then on Monday next week, when we see you again, it'll be around 29 degrees. So it's going to be cold. Make sure you have your coats, your jackets out. And say that old fable. What is it? Rain, rain, go away. Come again another day. I'm Ethan Gregory, and thank you for tonight's Falcon forecast.
Thanks, Ethan. Libby, what is your biggest non-school related goal right now?
I think that's a really good question. My one roommate and I and some of our friends are currently working on reading through the Bible in 90 days. So that's been an interesting challenge. Most of us have only read like bits and pieces of it and read a lot of the Bible, but not consecutively the whole thing. So I think that'll be a fun challenge for us coming up, a good goal.
Yeah, that's a huge goal actually, and a great one to have. I also have not read through the Bible consecutively, and I set a goal at the beginning of this year that I wanted to read through it by the end, But you had talked to me like a couple weeks ago, so I think I'm going to jump on that train and do that 90-day plan. It's good to do that in community and get to talk about it specifically like with your like female friends and just get together and talk about the Bible. So that's an awesome goal. I love it.
Yeah, I think having that accountability too has been really great, and just being able to, like you said, just talk to other women about it from that kind of perspective has been really great. We're only about a week in so far, so we're not too far in.
So I'm not too far behind.
Not yet. Have a little catching up to do, but not too bad at all.
Okay, good. I like to read, so we'll see if I can catch up in time.
Yeah, and once you get in, it kind of just flows right through, and you get really invested in it, which is really cool. Just gives you a new perspective, I think, on some of the things that I've read before.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see what fruit comes from that for you.
Yeah. Well, Sydney Otto will bring you this week's campus calendar, so let's see what events we have going on here at Messiah.
Hello, my name is Sydney Otto, and let's see what is popping on campus this week with all the events that are taking place on campus with the campus calendar. Tuesday, February 11th, is an in-service day, which means no classes and no chapel. Make sure to use this day to get some well-deserved rest, my fellow Falcons. On Wednesday, February 12th, the Anglo Center and Office of Student Success are hosting at the Anglo Center, lasting from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., a stressless group events that are taking place over the course of 5 weeks. These events will allow you to have the opportunity to connect with others and to learn about coping skills and put those skills into use. To sign up for these events, click the link in the email sent by Student Engagement. You got a special someone that you would like to make a Valentine's Day card for? Well, you're in luck. On Thursday, February 13th, the Office of Sustainability from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. are hosting an event for you to make Valentine's Day cards, providing a variety of supplies that you can use to be creative for your cards. Friday, February 14th, in the Eisenhower Commons, Sage is hosting a Tidbits and Treat event about information remaining to aspects to expect from healthy relationships. This event will last from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Saturday, February 15th, from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m., a concert and conference event will be held at the High Center, featuring the Porter's Gate and Sandra McCracken. The event will provide meals throughout the day, and these conferences will provide 3 workshop songwriting for local churches. Tickets for the event will cost $50. Sunday, February 16th, at the High Center, the Department of Music junior student Annie Rosario will be performing a Friends horn recital. The event is free to attend and open to the public at the High Center. I hope you'll have a wonderful week. Now sending back to the desk with Jessica and Libby.
Thanks, Sydney. We have an epic week ahead of us, including an in-service day, which I know I need to be diligent about and do some work. I don't know about you. Do you have some work to catch up on?
I definitely do. Being an art major, we always have more than enough work to do on in-service days.
I believe that. Well, for this week's Beyond the Breaches, Caitlin Mitchum sat down with Messiah grad Scott Orris. Caitlin?
Welcome back to this year's first Beyond the Breaches. My name is Caitlin Mitchum, and come along with me as we learn more about Scott Orris's production studio and films.
Hi, I'm Scott Orris. I have 2 bachelor degrees from Messiah, one in history, one in film, and currently I'm a filmmaker with his own production company. My first film was called There Were Giants. It was developed here at Messiah. Actually, I was taking a documentary class, and the School for Public Humanities came to us, and they're like, hey, would you be interested in making this documentary about the Negro League baseball team, the Harrisburg Giants? And whenever I heard about it, I'm like, wow, because I grew up knowing about the Negro Leagues through watching Ken Burns' baseball series and playing Little League myself and stuff. So whenever I heard that, I'm like, oh, why haven't I heard about this team? Because, I'm into this, I already was reading books on Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige and whatnot. And I'm like, well, if I haven't heard it, who else hasn't heard it? So I knew I needed to tell the story. And from there, I went on to play at the Harrisburg Hershey Film Festival, and it won the Audience Award. And then, I played at the Kansas City Film Festival, and it was endorsed by the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum played at the Baseball Hall of Fame and their film festival, and then they now have it in their archive like forever and whatnot. And then it was actually through it playing at the Reading Film Festival that I was offered a cable television deal through the cable channel Shorts TV, and it actually aired on television, which was like, you know, a very surreal experience. I got to watch it on television, which was a surreal experience.
Me personally, as a film and media arts major, hope to be as successful as Scott Orris one day. From YBTV, my name is Caitlin Mitchum.
Thanks, Caitlin. In light of recent Super Bowl events for this week's Falcon on the Street, Soraya Boyce asked students a very important question. We got to hear Messiah's thoughts on Eagles fans. Soraya?
Hi everyone, my name is Soraya Boyce and welcome to Falcon on the Street. Follow me as we ask students what are their thoughts on the Eagles fans. Let's go.
Go Birds. I'm from Philly, so we're leading.
I think the Eagles fans are great. They're electric. They know how to party.
Ooh, okay, so I'm a Steelers fan. I will say Eagles fans are very passionate, sometimes a little too passionate, but overall, mostly positive Eagles fans, mostly positive.
So I don't really know much about football or the Eagles, but I do know Taylor Swift and the Chiefs. Are we gonna get Reputation, Taylor's version?
I would say they're a very die-hard group of individuals, very dedicated to their sport.
Personally, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I know some very passionate Eagles fans, and they can get pretty riled up, so yeah.
They're chaotic.
Wow.
I don't know, they support, like they go crazy when they support them. Yeah, really.
What are your thoughts on Eagles fans?
I would say the same thing. Like, you guys are really good supporters. You're doing a great job putting the Eagles out there.
Can I hear your thoughts too?
We'll be supporting.
Me personally, I don't really watch that much football, but the Eagles fans are very dedicated. I love the support they have. Go Eagles! Thanks for watching. I'm Soraya Boyce, and that's Falcon on the Street.
Thank you, Soraya. I don't know about you, Libby, but I really enjoyed seeing everybody dressing up for the Super Bowl, especially the Eagles fans. I didn't really see many Chiefs fans around campus, but did you see any like interesting outfits going on before the Super Bowl?
Not too much Chiefs fans going on, you're right. I got to see a lot of jerseys, a lot of hats this weekend. I think nothing super crazy. But how about you?
I did have one kid come to my class who was wearing a flag. I think it was like an Eagles flag cape and an Eagles hat. So I think that was like the most festive I saw. But I just love like the spirit, like the team spirit that the Eagles have for their team. And I'm not a football fan, but I watched the game and I enjoyed it. So it was a good time.
Yeah.
Well, right after this short break, Nathan Harlacher and Connor Zodi will bring you this week's sports. Stay tuned.
Sort of under the impression that I needed to find like one thing that was my thing, and that there was somehow greater purpose in finding that one thing. But what I learned from studying at Messiah with a liberal arts education, with an education that really dignifies a number of pursuits, was that yes, I'm called to certain things in certain times in my life, but the adventure continues. All the things that God has given us are good things. They all can be ways in which we can further the kingdom, ways in which we can do good in our world. And so the adventure of finding which one to engage in at which time and how to do the best you can with the opportunity before you is one that we should all be enjoying, that God has given us. And that's a perspective that I credit Messiah with helping me form and helping me see.
Messiah has helped me see my career anew because of the multiple opportunities that I have on campus to travel with the career centers. And so because of that, I've been able to obtain an internship through Messiah, and that's just amazing. I never would have gotten that opportunity without Messiah.
Christian universities recruit from a pool of prospective students who vary greatly in their Christian denominational backgrounds and faith traditions. In a way, each student could be portrayed as a different colored piece of glass. Some Christian universities may seek only one subset of students, let's say these red pieces of glass. Others might prefer to recruit different subsets of students, blue pieces of glass, for example. Still others may welcome many colors of glass, but still see it as their mission to make students' incoming colors more uniform, to change them all to purple, for example, by the time they graduate. But at Messiah University, we take a different approach. Messiah's vision of reconciliation welcomes students from a wide variety of Christian traditions and backgrounds, symbolized by many more colors. We call this the Messiah metaphor. At Messiah, each student brings a valuable perspective that is celebrated, appreciated, and allowed to remain distinct. In the grace of our shared love of Christ, and in our worship, study, and service, we combine our individual colors into a community that is more beautiful together, like a strong and vibrant stained glass window. And the insight that is born in all of us is the light that shines through. Together, we see anew.
Absolutely filthy goal there. Boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome to YBTV Sports here on Falcon Update. I'm Connor Zodi.
And I'm Nate Harlacker. It's that time of the show where we get to run through the past week of Messiah Athletics.
And what a busy week it has been, Nate, with the final games of the regular season coming around for basketball and many of our spring sports getting ready to get their season started.
Now let's recap some of the action from this past week. Messiah Wrestling was in action Friday against York College for the Falcons Senior Night. The matchup was dominated by the Falcons, who won 7 out of the 10 individual contests, winning the matchup by a final team score of 35-11.
Wrestling was also in action Saturday for the Messiah Open. No one on the team took first in any weight class, but Asa Brunk and Cameron DeVille finished second and third respectively at 141 pounds, while Andrew Kazubal took third at 165 pounds. The team is back in action at home on Friday, February 14th against Elizabethtown College.
Messiah Track and Field were back in more indoor action this week at the Blue and White Invitational, hosted by Franklin and Marshall College. The men had 4 first-place finishes on the day, with John Condon winning the mile, Luca Feder winning the 5,000 meter, Nathan Bowman winning the shot put, and Zion Buck winning the triple jump. On the women's side, there were a few top 5 finishers throughout the day, but the highlight came from Hannah Witter, who improved her indoor pole vault school record, which she set last week, with a new best jump of 3.63 meters.
Also make sure to keep an eye out on swimming this week as they compete in the Max Swimming Championships over the weekend.
Now let's move into the highlights and this week's edition of the Falcon 4.
For our first highlight, we head to Alvernia University, where the Messiah women's basketball team took on the Golden Wolves in another MAC Commonwealth matchup. The Falcons started off strong with help from Chloe Milanesi. Falcons get the ball right off the tip. They're going to move it around quickly and often try to set something up on offense. You're going to see Hoffman get ball, send it in to Liv Montero, out to Milanesi, puts one up from three-point land and sinks it. We're going to look at that again. All the movement on the inside allowed Milanesi to get wide open at the top of the key and without hesitation gives the Falcons some early momentum. Falcons held on strong to secure a 70-50 victory over the Golden Wolves. Reese Harden led the team with 13 points, with Emmy Faith Woods scoring 11. Chloe Milanesi and Liv Montero each contributed 10 points. Messiah then battled the Albright Lions later in the week, which Nate will update us on shortly.
And for our next highlight, we stay inside Hitchcock Arena, where the Messiah men's volleyball team took on the Lancaster Bible College Chargers on Tuesday night. The Falcons were back at home after going 3-1 last weekend in the Cougar Kickoff Classic at Misericordia University. Messiah certainly stayed hot with plays like this one from Tyler McConnell. So here we see set coming over, Stauffer with the setup to Cooper Hensler, and Tyler McConnell slams it down for the kill. We'll get another look at that one here. Messiah up big already in that one. Perfectly set up there from Cooper Hensler right to McConnell and just delivers a great kill there. The Falcons went on to sweep the Chargers 3-0. Alex Kagoro led the team with 11 kills and Jacob Hum had 10. Messiah then took on number 4 ranked Juniata College later in the week, where the Falcons pulled off the upset, defeating the Eagles 3-2 in a tight one. Messiah advances to 10-1 on the season and will take on Penn State Altoona in Altoona on Thursday.
The Messiah men's basketball team also took on Alvernia University, which took place on Wednesday in Hitchcock Arena. The game started out back and forth before Alvernia solidified a significant second-half lead. But the Falcons remained determined and continued to make plays, like this one from Johnny McBride. Falcons going down. Christian Jackson going to drive inside. Can't find anything. Sends it back out. You'll see McBride by the free throw line. He'll get it. Can't pass anywhere. That's all right. I'll just take it in and attack the basket myself with a beautiful layup. This was made possible by his teammate Avery Kopcha, who ran inside underneath the basket, taking his defender with him, leaving an opening for McBride, who used his speed and physicality to finish off the play. In the end, however, the Golden Wolves held on to win 82-64. The top scorers for the Falcons were Caleb Lyles with 20 points, Christian Jackson with 17 points, and Cameron Thompson with 10 points. Messiah would also fall short to the Lions of Albright College on Saturday by a score of 81-60. Next, they will travel to Widener University this Wednesday to take on the Pride.
We go back to the Messiah women's basketball team, where they went back on the road to face the Albright Lions in a MAC Commonwealth contest on Saturday. The Falcons kept a steady lead a majority of the game thanks to slick moves like this one from Reese Harden. So here we see Liv Monturo with the ball here. Passes it to Ainsley Bell. Milanese with it, gives it back to Bell. To Monturo, over to Harden. Stops in the paint, cuts around her defender, and just takes it herself. Kind of just like the play we just saw from Johnny McBride, taking it herself right there. We'll see the pivot here. And the one defender bites on the one Falcon, and that just gives her just enough room to slip it in there for the easy two. The Falcons defeated the Lions 68-43, sweeping Albright on the season. Harden led the Falcons with 18 points, and not too far behind her was Liv Monturo with 17. Ainsley Bell also picked up a career-high 12 points in the win. The Falcons advanced to 19-2 on the season and will take on the Widener Pride in Hitchcock Arena this Wednesday night at 7 p.m.
Another great week of highlights there for the Falcons.
You know, Connor, you are absolutely right. At this time of the year, we noticed the highlights to be mainly basketball, as not too many sports are being streamed on campus. But however, earlier we did mention that the spring season is just around the corner. And with that, more streams and highlights. Baseball, softball, plus men's and women's lacrosse all have their first games within the next week. So with that in mind, YBTV Sports had the chance to talk to Messiah baseball coach Philip Schallenberger about the upcoming season. James Hellman has the story.
Messiah baseball is just around the corner. After one of the most successful seasons in program history, the team is looking to take it one step further, but also making sure he chooses us in the forefront. It's easy to maybe become complacent. Something for us is understanding that just because of our success last year doesn't determine our success moving forward either. For us, it's trying to find that balance, still finding that joy and excitement and everything that we do every day, and keeping the purpose of keeping these everything at the forefront while also pursuing that excellent and resonant standard. Sometimes it's, success, it's easy to lose sight of the small details that actually got you there.
You know, that was a great story, and I'm sure we will have some technical difficulties there, but we will be uploading that on YouTube later on tonight, so we will be getting that up so you guys at home can watch it. And it's always we always love an opportunity to get to talk about Messiah baseball, and Messiah themselves. They just provide such a unique opportunity for athletes to really express their faith.
Yeah, I love to see that. I love to see that, like, all the sports teams on Messiah's campus definitely have this unique ability to boldly express their faith. And I think when you go to any sporting event, that's so evident, whether it be the time that they take to pray before the games or even in our athlete interviews or coach interviews, it really comes out, and it's just like a beautiful opportunity that you have at Messiah.
And the faith aspect really helps you to drive forward and just relax some and enjoy the game even more. I know it helped me out when I played Little League Baseball against this fine gentleman right here. We met up there a couple times, and it was a great time.
Actually.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, those things happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I know being able to be a part of a team here in some capacity, in a working capacity, just being able to get to pray together and see that as we integrate that into just the teams that we play as well, and seeing how they even just accept our faith and come and pray with us. And even that little part, I think, is really impactful to see. Well, that's all we have for Falcon Update. We'll be right back with YB Tonight after the break.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Charlie. I'm glad you picked up. Listen, the host for YB Tonight just canceled on me, and only you can take their spot.
I told you, man. I'm retired. I do the vault now.
I know, but this is an emergency. We need you. I need you.
Fine. But I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for him.
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Man, I'm just getting too old for this. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm Charlie Jones, and we've got a great show lined up for you tonight. First, we have Laura Ziegler and Ryan Scannell representing Increased Theology Club, and then we will have Will Reed, who will talk to us about his DJ business. That's all after the break.
I am so grateful for the ways that Messiah has helped me see my career anew. Thanks to my education and this journey at Messiah, I was able to achieve my goal of being a professor. And so every day I get to share my experiences, my faith, and my education with students. I am so grateful for the ways that Messiah has helped me see my career anew. Thanks to my education and this journey at Messiah, I was able to achieve my goal of being a professor. And so every day I get to share my experiences, my faith, and my education with students.
Being able to talk about faith and Christianity and what that means is important to me because working in a secular environment, a lot of times questions of ethics and morality come into play. And I think having a faith-based education really equips people and our students to be able to go out into the workforce and be able to serve their communities ethically and morally and be confident about who they are in their Christianity.
We don't want our students to feel like they have to wait until they've graduated to start serving and meeting the needs of society. So we want students to have an opportunity to work on projects that meet real needs even while they're students in the program. Messiah students are exciting to work with because they understand that God has uniquely gifted them to do something, and they're excited to follow Him in that and to follow Him in their careers.
One of my best moments as a student here at Messiah was when I was traveling to Mexico with a collaboratory.
The collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world.
I learned so many amazing things about just cultural differences and how to adapt and work alongside, not just how to help someone else, but how to empower them to further their lives and also advance my academics in the process. So that is by far one of my favorite memories from Messiah.
Welcome back. I'm here with Laura Ziegler and Ryan Scannell. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for coming on. You two are both from the Increased Theology Club here on campus, correct?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Could you tell me what are your positions in the club?
So I'm the president of the club, and Ryan?
I'm a treasurer.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Alrighty. So, can you tell us what is the purpose of the Increased Theology Club?
Yeah, so our purpose and goal really is to help equip students with knowledge about the Word of God and help them deepen their relationship with the Lord. We do this through providing opportunities to look at different topics from Scripture and just have a kind of safe area to have civil discussions. We have a lot of people who come in and they have different perspectives, and it's just a really great space to have discussions about the Word of God to help grow in our faith. So, yeah.
Fascinating. So, could you tell me, what does a normal meeting look for you guys?
Yeah, so we meet on Tuesdays from 5 to 6 in Boyer 237. And basically, once we start at 5, we open with a word of prayer, and then we'll get into, in past semesters, we get into a theological topic. This semester, we're actually doing a book study, which we can get into a little bit later. And then after club, we usually have some students go to Lottie afterwards for further fellowship.
That's wonderful. That sounds like a lot of fun. So what do you think the benefit of increasing one's theology poses for students?
Yeah, so I mean, for me personally, it's been just really helpful for my faith to dive deeper into to learn more about who God is and what the Bible says, because I've just realized that in order to love God more and to trust Him more, we have to know Him better. And so getting to dive deeper into the Scriptures and to find out more about who God is has really helped to build my faith. And I think as college students, it's just really helpful to have that community of believers to help encourage each other and just to learn more about who God is together. So that's why we'd have this club and why I'm a part of it. So yeah.
That's fantastic. So how did both of you get involved in the Increase in Theology Club?
Yeah, so when I was looking for a school, I was looking for a Christian school primarily for this reason, because there's just a lot more opportunities here at Messiah to find Christian groups and Bible studies. So when I came here, I went through the club fair and found this club and just slowly got connected and started to enjoy the fellowship of other believers who I had not yet met, and then continued to grow in that to eventually be requested to be a student leader, a treasurer.
Yeah, and for me, mine's kind of the same journey, actually. I came to Messiah really wanting a Christian community, and I really found that through this club, and I found through the club fairs how I found out about it, and I just love the discussion aspect too of getting to share our what we've been learning in Scripture. And for me personally, I didn't really know much about theology, and so it's been cool to have that area and time where it's just focused on what the Bible says about who God is, and I've just grown so much. So that's why I joined, just because I really wanted to grow in my knowledge of who God is and have that community. So yeah.
Absolutely, and honestly, that community is so important when we're discussing the Bible and learning and growing together as Christians. I think that's really wonderful. So what are some reasons for other students who might not have heard about Increased Theology Club? What are some reasons for them to join Increased Theology?
Yeah, so like my journey, if you want to get connected to Christians on campus and just to talk about different theological topics, we don't necessarily push one specific view as much as we just take different views and present it, and give just a space for students to talk about different topics and maybe debate them or just further explore them.
Yeah, I would say also it's just a really great place to come if you have questions about what the Bible says about a topic, and we don't have all the answers, but it's really helpful to then we can study that out together and then talk about it more, and it's just a really great time to go deeper into a lot of questions that people have, and just again the community aspect is huge for me. That's why I mostly joined. So yeah.
Wonderful. And digging a little more into that, what do your events look like and your meetings? I know you mentioned you're doing a book club this semester, which sounds really interesting. Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so
in the past, what we have done is we've taken different topics. Like, for example, maybe we've looked at, I don't know, maybe like atonement. And we've looked at what the Bible says. We've looked at different viewpoints and perspectives, and then we'll kind of present that with Bible verses and support, and then we'll have a discussion where we'll break out into groups, or we'll have a big group discussion and people can ask questions. But this semester we're doing that book study. It's on a book by John Piper called Don't Waste Your Life. And we kind of just take it chapter by chapter, and we talk about, things that stood out from the chapter. And I really enjoy that book because it's just talking about, what is our purpose in life? How are we called to glorify God, especially in this season as college students? So that's kind of what a typical meeting looks like. We do have guest speakers who will come in, maybe like local pastors, or we've had professors come and just share things that they've learned in their faith journey, maybe like focus on a specific theological topic. So yeah, that's kind of what a typical meeting looks like.
Well, it sounds like a very beneficial and transformative experience. So where can students find out more about Increased Theology Club?
So we have emails that we send out, so you could always join our email list. We also have an Instagram page called Messiah Increased Theology, so you can follow us there, and we post about our meetings, and we also post about any big events that we have coming up. So those are two great ways to find us. And if you do come to club too, we also have a group me that is mostly where we communicate, so you can always join our group me, and we'll send you any information that you may need. So yeah.
That's fantastic. So is there anything that I might have missed, or anything that you two wanted to talk about?
No, I think that's the main gist of it. I really recommend it to any students who are new, but even just any students just wanting another space, another time throughout the week to just get back into the Word of God and get recentered with all of their, with all the craziness and schoolwork they have going on, to recenter their lives back on the Lord.
Wonderful. Well, on behalf of the YBTV crew, I just want to say thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate having you here. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the show. After the break, I'll be chatting with Will Reed about his position as the music director at the Pulse and his own personal DJ business. Coming up.
It's very rare to find a Master's of Music program that has this online component along with great flexibility.
The graduate programs in music at Messiah University consist of a Master of Music and Conducting and a Master of Music Education. The graduate program is the largest of its kind that is a NASM accredited program in the United States.
I enjoyed that the program gave me the opportunity to have so many hands-on experiences. Even if it was an online class, I was practicing my conducting. I was getting real feedback from professors on how I was doing with those skills.
Messiah University has been teaching online for over 10 years. That gives us the experience that we need to really have those personal moments with our students no matter where they are.
It's flexible and the quality of the education is unparalleled. One of the things that I love the most is that the professors build personal connections with their students.
Time after time, relationships are forged between students and faculty alike, and those relationships stand the test of time.
Welcome back. I'm here with Will Reed. Will, how have you been, man?
I've been pretty good. Been busy.
Oh yeah,
Got a lot of random stuff going on.
Of course, of course. I always see you running around campus.
Yes, yes.
Or scootering around, I should say.
Yes, yeah, of course.
So, jumping right into it, could you tell me how long have you been music director for the Pulse?
2 semesters now, but before I was doing an hour of radio DJing a week.
Interesting. So what are your responsibilities as the music director?
I have to listen to about like 40 or 50 albums and songs and then decide which ones get put on the radio station here.
Gotcha. And what does a typical day look like for you in the Pulse? I know you mentioned you had radio shows and listening to music, so how do you balance out that time?
Most of it goes towards picking what plays on the radio station, because that's more important than like my personal hour on the station. But also my personal hour on the station is a lot of smaller artists and up-and-comers, so a lot of them will like respond if I DM them on Instagram and ask them for their new album to add to the station. So each side of it helps with the other side.
Gotcha. Now that sounds really interesting, getting to talk with the artists directly. So is there, what else do you enjoy about your job at the Pulse?
It's kind of the main brunt of it. It's a tier 2. It's not the fanciest job out there. That's Sam Erickson's job. He's in charge of like the whole radio. I'm just in charge of the music that plays on it.
Gotcha.
I'm the public-facing side of it.
Of course. And you know, you spend a lot of time with music. I mean, as the music director and as your own, as a DJ in your personal life. So what does music mean to you?
I didn't really start listening to music until I was like 16, 17. So it's been very recent that like music has been a big part of my life, and even more recent it became like part of my job. But I played so much Just Dance growing up. I played like thousands of hours of Just Dance. It was most of my interactions with music growing up. So it really, despite the fact music has very recently become a larger part of my life, it's not a real surprise that it's become very dance. Pop music is what I play a lot of the time.
Oh, absolutely. I had a very similar experience. You know, getting the Nintendo Wii for Christmas was canon event, really.
Important part of my life, yes.
Of course. I mean, Just Dance, it's a phenomenal game, and frankly, I think we as a society need to bring it back.
Yeah.
Make it, you know.
When is SAB doing a Just Dance night? I know they've done it in the past. I want to dominate. That's important to me.
Oh, yes. A Just Dance competition would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite genre of music? I know you mentioned pop being a big one for you.
I listen to so much pop. I listen to mostly pop. Listen to more like R&B and hip hop. A lot of jazz and funk lately.
Do you have like a top 5 artists?
Ooh.
Like all-time best?
John Bellion and AJR were like the first 2 that I got really into. And I still love both of them quite a lot. I love Sammy Ray and the Friends. We have an I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but we have an upcoming giveaway of Sammy Ray and the Friends tickets on the Pulse Instagram. Keep your eyes out for that. Really enjoy them. Trying to think of 2 other artists I really love that deeply. Those 3 are very important to me. I've gotten really into 21 Pilots lately. My roommate got me really into them.
Heavy Dirty
I
Soul's
also
a great
really
one.
love Nep. She's like a small indie folk artist. Been deeply obsessed with her new album. She deserves a lot more love. Go listen to Nep, N-E-P. She's fantastic.
Absolutely. I love how much you want to help out with the smaller artists. I know talking earlier, you said you try to focus on artists who have like less than 100K monthly listeners. So there's a lot of small-time artists here on campus. We've even featured some of them right here. So if there are students who make their own music and want to have it featured on the Pulse, how could they get in touch with you to make that happen?
You can email any of like the Pulse emails and it'll get sent back to me, but my email is pulsefmmusic@gmail.com. Love to get local music on the station. We got Ashley Sheffa's stuff on the station recently, along with a few other local artists. And that's super fun, especially when I can get an artist like in the studio for an interview or to run their own radio show for an hour. That's super fun.
Yeah, that sounds really great. And it's wonderful how hands-on you are with the whole process.
It's super fun.
Well, this has been super interesting, Will, and we're just going to take a short break, but once we come back, we will talk more about your personal experience as a DJ. Stay tuned.
Messiah's helped me see my faith anew, mainly through the experiences I've gone with other professors and other students. I think it's important to understand that as Christians, we are all different. We all come from different backgrounds and we have different life experiences. I think it's really important that we get to understand and hear and listen to these people, and it's something that we can take a small part of their life and put into ours.
sort of under the impression that I needed to find like one thing that was my thing, and that there was somehow greater purpose in finding that one thing. But what I learned from studying at Messiah with a liberal arts education, with an education that really dignifies a number of pursuits, was that yes, I'm called to certain things in certain times in my life, but the adventure continues. All the things that God has given us are good things. They all can be ways in which we can further the kingdom, ways in which we can do good in our world. And so the adventure of finding which one to engage in at which time and how to do the best you can with the opportunity before you is one that we should all be enjoying, that God has given us. And that's a perspective that I credit Messiah with helping me form and helping me see. Sort of under the impression that I needed to find like one thing that was my thing, and that there was somehow greater purpose in finding that one thing. But what I learned from studying at Messiah with a liberal arts education, with an education that really dignifies a number of pursuits, was that yes, I'm called to certain things in certain times in my life, but the adventure continues. All the things that God has given us are good things. They all can be ways in which we can further the kingdom, ways in which we can do good in our world. And so the adventure of finding which one to engage in at which time and how to do the best you can with the opportunity before you is one that we should all be enjoying, that God has given us. And that's a perspective that I credit Messiah with helping me form and helping me see.
Welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm joined by my guest, Will Reed.
I wanted to see how that tennis match was going.
I
was invested.
As was I, frankly. I mean, I'm a big tennis guy, you know. But unfortunately, we have to talk. Will,
shucks.
Tell me about your DJ business.
I signed up to DJ a dance for SAB, and I did not know how to do it. I had a DJ board because I accidentally bought it thinking it was like music making equipment, and then it was like $50 on eBay, so I just never returned it and was like, one day I'll find a use for this. So this is not that same DJ controller. I've gotten better equipment since then. But but I was like, you know what, when SAB actually reached out to me, it was like, we want you to DJ this dance. I was like, sure, I'll figure it out. That's when I started running a radio show because I was like, I'm going to learn how to play music for people. And then I really enjoyed DJing the dance. And actually, I had a different business called Tucker & Co. Bakery reach out to me before that first SAB dance and say, you're a DJ on campus, right? You can come DJ an event at our bakery. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. Still not knowing how to DJ. And I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials. I practiced a lot. I prepared like super hard. And I showed up and had a great time. They invited me back this year. I went back again to DJ another event there. And I've done like 15-ish events since then, but my 1-year anniversary was a few months ago. It's pretty exciting.
Wow, 1 year of DJing. That must have been a really cool experience. What sort of venues have you worked and events have you run?
I've done some big venues. I did a 14-hour long mini-thon. That was a lot. I still go back to the playlist for that event because it's all the music I know. So I'll go back to that when I'm getting ready for other events. I DJ'd 2 80-year-old twins' birthdays. That was pretty exciting. I learned a lot about 70s country for that event, 60s and 70s country. That was super fun. I've DJ'd at a bakery. It was a Taylor Swift-themed Halloween party at that bakery. That's an alumni-owned bakery, Tucker & Co. They also sold me some of my first equipment, including these like giant speakers that I still use all the time. I did not bring those with me today because I didn't want to carry them from my dorm.
Oh, unfortunate. But speaking of your equipment, could you tell us a bit more about your setup here?
This is a pretty basic setup. This is all the stuff I brought to the SAB Glow and Groove dance. That's why I had it out and available. This is a folding shelf. I was looking for like a nice desk that I could stand up and use, and I had this rinky desk from Ross, Dress for Less, and I had to be like, while I was DJing because it was so low. So I went and I bought a folding shelf. So So I can use it to hold my other equipment, like we have down here mics if I need those. We have like a portable charger if I need to like re-up my computer if it's dying. I got headphones. These are nice DJ headphones. These are special. They have holes in them. You know, have you ever used nice AirPod like Pros?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't used Apple product, but I've used nice headphones, yeah.
They have a feature called transparency that lets you like hear what's going on outside. These have holes just straight up cut into them. So they're not designed at all to muffle anything. So I know if people are like cheering or like booing me because I can't play Fiend at a Messiah school dance. That's what these are for, along with adapters to get to any sound system I need to go to.
Gotcha. So when you're working an event, what does your day look like typically? How do you prepare, and then how does running the event look and feel for you?
Preparation usually starts a few months before. I'll get like a text or an email, or someone will go to my website, djwillread.com, and they'll fill out my like event request form, and then I'll get back to them, and then we'll have like a Zoom call or a phone call, and we'll go over like what the vibe of the event is. Are we going for more like 70s, 80s? Are we going more for modern music? How much energy is it? Is it more background music? Is it like a dance floor going? How many times do they want me to play the Cupid Shuffle? All the questions. And I get really into the details of what they want the event to look like. From there, I'll make a playlist, send it to them. They'll send any requests they have for changes or if they like it. And then I'll prepare all the music by going through and marking different spots of it. So if I want to mix in, like Jenny from the Block has a rap verse at the beginning that's not as well known as the chorus. So I'll mark both of those, and I'll decide like whether or not I want to play the full song or start from the chorus, stuff like that. So I have that all marked up in the system, and then I'll show up the day of. I can fit almost all of this into one bag, and then this folds up, and I can carry it with me. If they have speakers there, that's pretty easy. It becomes a lot harder if they don't have speakers there, because now I have to bring the giant speakers, the stands. That usually takes 2 or 3 trips to get everything into a venue. It's like 3 or 4 bags worth of stuff to have backups of everything I need. If it's just like an SAB dance, we're chill. AV's got me if I'm missing a chord or something. But if I'm going to a dance myself or a wedding or another event like that where I know it's like high pressure, I'll bring a bunch of bags of backup stuff in case I need it.
Wow. So I'm noticing you've got a bit of merch on you. You've got your hat, sticker.
Absolutely.
So it really seems like you're putting a lot of time into this. Are you planning on pursuing DJing full time after college, or just keeping it more as like a hobby or a part-time gig?
I think it's a good plan B. I'm hoping to work in like journalism or social media, something along those lines. But this is a good plan B if I need to make extra money on the side, or if I need to have a job in the meantime. It pays pretty well. It's not bad. Especially if I start like going full into it and trying to get like 1 or 2 every weekend. But right now I only do 2 or 3 events a month. But if I'm trying to get like 2 a weekend, I could do that with the right advertising and stuff like that. I already have people who have invited me back to do events I did last year. So just building on that momentum to get more and more events. I could do this as my full-time gig. Not sure if I want to, but it is really fun. But it's a lot of work and preparation and energy carrying those big speakers places.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Takes a lot out of you, you know?
Yep.
It's heavy lifting. Well, where can people find you and like see more of your work or even book you for an event?
My Instagram is hello, it's DJ Will. I got a bunch of really nice reviews up there from very nice people. Haven't gotten a bad review yet. We're doing pretty good. You can also go to my website, www.djwillread.com, DJWILLREED. And you can book me for an event there. You can see frequently asked questions about like my pricing and stuff like that. Along with, there's also a widget on that website where you can listen to my radio show when it's live, along with podcasts I've done for the Pulse Radio. So, got some great interviews with Sammy Ray. I got to ask Judah and the Lion a few questions.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that band.
We got some cool I got another one coming out in 2 weeks. It's exciting.
Well, that's awesome. Will, thank you so much for being on the show. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. But tune in next week for YB Tonight. Good night, Messiah.